If you want to become indispensable in the lives of others, if you want to walk into a room and feel the warmth of genuine connection, where people light up when they see you coming, it's because you've mastered the art of lifting others up. You've become that person who brings encouragement, who leaves a trail of positivity wherever you go. Now, why is this so important? Because people are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good about themselves, who help them see their potential and elevate their spirit. That's what we're talking about here, becoming a lifter. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world, the lifters and the leaners. Lifters are those who bring energy, positivity, and encouragement to every relationship. They don't wait for someone else to make their day. They take the initiative. And then there are the leaners, those who consciously or not weigh others down. They're always asking for something, always looking for someone to fill their cup. But here's the thing. The longer they lean, the heavier they get, until all that weight becomes exhausting. So what's the key to building strong, fulfilling relationships? It's really quite simple. Decide to be a lifter, not a leaner. Decide to be the person who brings value to others, not the one who drains them. You be the one who offers the smile first, who gives the encouraging word first. You initiate the positivity. And here's the magic: when you lift others, you end up lifting yourself. It's almost like a law of the universe. You give, and in the process, you receive. Now, here's something I want you to understand. Words are powerful. They're more than just sounds. They can create, they can build, they can inspire. In fact, words can work miracles. Remember that ancient scripture that says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Think about that for a moment. Words are tied to creation. They bring light where there was once darkness. And here's where it gets really exciting, you and I. We have that same ability. We can create light in someone's life with our words. What if someone is stuck in a place where they just can't see a way forward? They're blind to the possibilities in their own life. Then you come along and share your story. Maybe you borrow a story from someone else, and suddenly the lights come on. They begin to see. They say, "Wow, before you spoke, I was in the dark, but now I see." Isn't that incredible? Yes, it's possible to create light, to illuminate someone's path through the words you speak. It's not just possible, it's one of the greatest opportunities we have as human beings. Whether it's a mother speaking to her daughter, a father to his son, a teacher to a student, or a salesperson to a client, words carry immense power. They have the potential to change someone's life, to shift their perspective, and to open up new possibilities. So how do you become a person who can use words to lift others? Here's the first key to good communication. Have something good to say. Don't just talk for the sake of talking. Bring value, bring insight, bring encouragement. Think about the words you're going to share, and make sure they're words that will build up, not tear down. Communication begins long before. It starts with preparation, the kind of preparation that allows you to speak this year, and even better next year. It's about building a foundation of knowledge, insight, and understanding that sets you up to communicate with impact. How do you get there? You attend the classes, read the books, seek out the mentors, and engage with life itself. Preparation is key, because great communication isn't accidental. It's intentional. Now, once you've prepared, the next step is critical. Have something good to say. Too many people speak without purpose or substance, but not you. You're going to bring value to every conversation. So how do you ensure you've got something worthwhile to share? Let me give you 4 powerful words that will help. The first word is interest. If you want to have something good to say, develop a genuine interest in people and the world around you. What's happening in the economy? How are politics shaping society? What are the current opportunities and challenges in business, education, or health? What are people passionate about? When you're genuinely interested in life, you have a constant source of fresh ideas to share. Interest keeps you engaged, and more importantly, it keeps your audience engaged. The second word is fascination. Fascination takes interest one step further. It's not just about paying attention to things, but being absolutely captivated by them. Think about children and how much they learn in those first few years. Why? Because they're fascinated by everything. They approach the world with wonder, with curiosity. If you want to be a great communicator, you've got to keep that sense of fascination alive. Be curious, explore, dig deeper, because when you're fascinated, you'll naturally have something captivating to say. Next is sensitivity. Communication isn't just about what you say, it's also about understanding who you're speaking to. You've got to be sensitive to where people are coming from, what they've been through, what challenges they're facing. Sensitivity allows you to meet people where they are and speak in a way that resonates with their experience. Not everyone shares your background or perspective, so you need to be aware of that. Take the time to understand other people's struggles, their triumphs, their emotional landscapes. This level of awareness can dramatically improve your ability to connect. Now, one of the greatest examples of sensitivity comes from the life of Jesus. Two powerful words were often used to describe him. He was touched and moved. He wasn't just going through the motions, he was touched by the suffering of others. He was moved by the hardships people were facing. If you want to communicate in a meaningful way, you've got to allow yourself to be touched and moved by the stories and situations of those around you. Don't just focus on your own experiences or challenges. Open your heart to the drama unfolding in other people's lives. That's how you build a real connection. But how do you develop this level of sensitivity? Well, one way is to reconnect with your own struggles. When you remember the tough times you've gone through, it softens you, it opens you up. You feel that emotion close to the surface, and when you speak, your words come out with genuine power and depth. This is what great actors do. They remember their own pain, their own joy, and that's what makes their performance so authentic. You can do the same with your communication. Draw from your own life, let it hurt again if it has to, and then deliver your message with that emotional energy. That's when your words will resonate. Now, let's not forget, all of this takes work. Communication isn't something you leave to chance. You've got to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work of preparation. Take notes, journal your thoughts, and collect wisdom wherever you can, whether it's from books, videos, seminars, or life experiences. Don't be lazy in learning. A major part of communication is preparation. You don't just wake up one day and become an excellent speaker. No, you study, you practice, you gather knowledge, and over time you become someone who can speak with power, clarity, and purpose. Now, here's the next key to mastering communication: say it well. It's one thing to have something valuable to say, but it's another thing to deliver it in a way that really lands with people. It's not enough to have great ideas or insights. You've got to communicate them in a way that leaves a lasting impression. So let me give you a few guidelines on how to say it well. The first principle is sincerity. If you want your words to resonate, they have to be backed by genuine feeling. People can tell when you're being sincere and when you're just putting on a show. The best place to start with communication is letting your sincerity shine through, be authentic. If you truly believe in what you're saying, people will feel it. Sincerity is like a magnet. It draws people in because it speaks to something deeper. No amount of polished technique can replace the power of a sincere heart. Next is repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill, and it's a critical tool in communication. I've been at this for 33 years. And someone says, well, Jim, you give a pretty good seminar. I sure hope so after 33 years of doing it. The more you say something, the more it becomes part of you. But beyond that, repetition is also crucial for your audience. People often need to hear something more than once before it sinks in. So don't shy away from repeating key points, especially when you know they matter. Reinforce the message. Now is brevity. Sometimes the fewer words you use, the more powerful your message becomes. You don't always need a lot of words if you're totally sincere. In fact, being concise can amplify your sincerity because you're not dressing it up with unnecessary fluff. People appreciate clarity and precision. So learn to trim the fat from your communication. Say what you mean and mean what you say with no excess. Keep it clear, keep it direct. Another important element in saying it well is your vocabulary. Words are the tools of thought. And the more words you have at your disposal, the sharper your thinking becomes. If you don't work on expanding your vocabulary, you limit your ability to express yourself and even your ability to think. The fewer words you know, the more limited your vision becomes. Imagine trying to make sound judgments when your ability to see is impaired by a lack of vocabulary. The richer your vocabulary, the clearer your communication, and the better your decisions. Now, the words are a way of seeing the world. They give you the framework to interpret and understand your experiences. Without a strong vocabulary, it's like trying to navigate through life with blurred vision. You miss out on nuances, on deeper understanding, and you're more prone to mistakes in judgment because you're not seeing the full picture. So make it a habit to work on your vocabulary. Read, learn new words, and use them. It's not just about impressing others, it's about sharpening your own mind and becoming a more effective communicator. So when it comes to saying it well, it boils down to a few key principles. Be sincere, repeat the essentials, be brief when needed, and build a strong vocabulary. These are the foundations of great communication. And like anything worthwhile, it takes practice. You don't wake up one day and become a master communicator. No, you build it brick by brick through experience, through study, and through intentional effort. But here's the exciting part. Every step you take in improving your communication is a step toward greater influence, deeper relationships, and more meaningful connections. Whether you're talking to one person or 1,000, the principles remain the same. So focus on these basics and you'll find that your words will start to carry more weight, more impact, and more significance in the lives of others. Remember, great communication isn't just about what you say, it's about how you say it. It's about saying it with sincerity, clarity, and skill. And the good news, you can learn it, you can practice it, and you can get better at it every single day. Next, let's talk about the power of words and their role in expressing what's happening in your mind and your heart. Words are the bridge between your thoughts and the world. They allow you to share your ideas, your feelings, and your vision. But what happens when that bridge is weak? What if you can't express yourself well because your vocabulary is limited? Worse yet, what if you can't even see clearly because you don't have the words to define what you're seeing? Now imagine 5 years of that, or 10 or 20. If you can't express what's inside of you, if you can't communicate effectively, life becomes a constant struggle. The world around you becomes smaller and smaller. Your opportunities shrink, your relationships suffer, and your ability to influence others fades away. Eventually, you find yourself boxed into a world that's so small, you hardly need more space than a 10 by 12 cell. Why? Because without the ability to see and express, your entire world shrinks. That's why I'm asking you to stretch your vocabulary. If you want to expand your world, expand your ability to see and express, you've got to make an intentional effort to learn more words, better words, precise words. Why not learn a word a day? It's a simple habit that over time can transform the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you influence. When you add to your vocabulary, you add to your ability to see the world in clearer, richer terms. You add to your ability to express your heart, your mind, and your soul. So if you want to communicate well, commit to learning more words. It's one of the best investments you can make. Here's something powerful to consider. How would you like to be more popular in your social or business circles? To walk into a room and immediately be welcomed with warmth and openness? Well, you can be. And it all comes down to learning how to be more charming in every interaction. Now, this isn't about putting on a fake persona or manipulating people. No, it's about genuinely understanding one of the deepest human desires, the desire to feel important. Every person you meet, whether in a personal or professional setting, has this inner need to feel valued, to feel like they matter. If you can make others feel important, if you can build their self-confidence in your interactions, they will naturally be drawn to you. They'll like you, they'll want to spend time with you, and they'll open doors for you. This is one of the keys to becoming more popular, both personally and professionally. Now, let's say you're in business. Becoming a charming person isn't just a social skill, it's a business asset. When you make others feel important, you build trust. And trust is the foundation of every successful business relationship. Whether you're negotiating terms, borrowing money, or influencing key customers, charm goes a long way. It's not about flattery, it's about sincere interest in making others feel valued. When people feel good about themselves in your presence, they're far more likely to do business with you, to follow your lead, or to recommend you to others. So how do you become more charming? It starts with developing a genuine interest in others. Ask questions, listen carefully, and look for opportunities to highlight what makes them special. When you go through life making others feel important, you'll find that success follows you both in your personal relationships and in your professional endeavors. If you're in sales or really any profession where you're dealing with people, let me tell you something important. How customers feel about you and how they feel when they're around you will determine your level of success more than anything else. It's not just about the product, it's not just about the price, it's about the experience they have with you. People are emotional beings, and the feelings you generate in them will influence not just whether they buy from you, but whether they come back and whether they refer you to others. Now, this principle doesn't just apply in business. In your personal life, in your family, and in your social circles, learning to be genuinely charming can make you more popular, more desirable, and more influential. As the poet said, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's powerful. How you make others feel will leave a lasting impression far beyond the words you use. So the question is, how do you become that charming person? How do you make people feel good in a way that's sincere, lasting, and impactful? First, smile. Now, I don't mean a forced or fake smile. I mean an open, honest, happy to see you smile. You see, a smile is like a handshake for the soul. When you smile at someone in that genuine way, it warms their heart. It makes them feel welcome, accepted, and appreciated right from the first moment. Remember, deep down, everyone has a need to be accepted unconditionally. And a smile says, I accept you. I'm glad you're here. That's the first step toward charm, letting people know, through that simple smile, that they matter. Second, show appreciation. One of the most powerful ways to make people feel important is by expressing genuine appreciation. Everyone loves to be appreciated for something they've done, no matter how small. The words thank you are simple, yet they carry so much weight. When you thank people sincerely, you're telling them that you notice their efforts and that they've added value. It's amazing how these two little words can elevate someone's self-esteem and make them feel good about themselves and about you. Third, give genuine compliments. We all know that people like to be complimented, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. A genuine compliment acknowledges something that a person has clearly invested time, effort, or emotion into. It could be their choice in clothing, their hairstyle, their home, or even a professional accomplishment. Abraham Lincoln said it well. Everybody likes a compliment. And when you compliment someone on something meaningful to them, you boost their self-image, you make them feel proud. And guess what? They start to see you as charming because you took the time to notice. Fourth, build self-confidence in others through approval. This is a big one. People thrive on approval. When someone accomplishes something big or small, make sure you acknowledge it. Praise them for a job well done. Tell them they're good at what they do. Whether it's your spouse, your children, your colleagues, or your customers, giving approval builds their self-confidence and makes them feel more important. And when people feel more confident, they naturally gravitate toward the person who helped them feel that way. And fifth, give your full attention. In today's world, attention is one of the rarest and most valuable gifts you can give someone. When you give someone your undivided attention, when you truly listen to what they're saying, you're telling them that they matter. You see, people feel valuable to the extent that they are listened to. When you hang on to every word they say, you're giving them the highest form of respect. Their self-esteem rises, their brain releases those feel-good endorphins, and they feel better about themselves and about you. Never underestimate the power of listening. Now let me ask you, what if you went through life looking for little opportunities to make people feel more valuable and special? What if you smiled at them, thanked them, complimented them, praised them, and gave them your full attention? Do you think that might have an impact on how they feel about you? You bet it would. In fact, if you practice these 5 behaviors consistently, you'll notice that people will start talking about you. They'll say, you know, there's just something about them. They're so charming, so easy to be around. Charm isn't about manipulation, and it's not about being fake. It's about making a genuine effort to lift others up, to make them feel important, and to connect with them in a meaningful way. And here's the best part. When you focus on making others feel good, you'll start to feel better about yourself too. It's a cycle that benefits everyone. Now, here's another critical aspect of good communication. Read your audience. If you want to communicate effectively, you can't just focus on what you're saying. You also have to pay attention to who you're saying it to. Whether you're talking to a child, a business prospect, or a room full of people, you've got to study your audience. Watch their facial expressions, notice their body language. Are they engaged? Are they confused? Do you need to slow down, shift gears, or maybe give another example to make the point clearer? For example, if you're talking to a child, you have to adjust your approach. Children respond differently from adults, so you need to study their reactions carefully. Is the child understanding, or do you need to simplify? Should you use a gentler tone, or maybe inject a bit of humor? The same principle applies in business. When you're speaking to a prospect, you need to read the signals they're sending. Are they interested, or are they losing focus? Do you need to come on stronger, or is it time to ease off? Communication is a dynamic process, and part of mastering it is being able to adjust based on the feedback you're getting from your audience. This is key because communication isn't just about what you say, it's about how it's received. And there are a few ways you can read a person's reaction to know if you're on the right track or if you need to adjust your approach. Number 1, read by what you see. Body language speaks volumes. It tells you how to shift gears, whether to keep going or maybe even stop. Picture this. Someone sitting in front of you, arms crossed, chin tucked down, looking like they're not having any of it. That's a signal. What's it telling you? This person is resistant, guarded. You've got your work cut out for you, and you're going to have to dig deep into your bag of tricks, bring out the stories, bring out the personal experiences, and make it relatable. What's telling you that? Reading what you see. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing someone's posture or facial expression that can give you the insight you need to shift gears. Number 2, read by what you hear. Now, this is especially true with kids, but it applies to adults as well. Kids, for example, are not shy about showing you when they're bored or impatient. And guess what? It's not just in their words, it's in their tone, their sighs, and sometimes their outright yawns. But even adults give you clues in their voice. Maybe someone sounds restless, or maybe they sound like they're not quite understanding. You've got to listen closely, because what you hear can guide your next move. Do you need to make your point simpler? Maybe tell a different story? Adjust your tone? Communication is a dance, and you've got to listen to the rhythm in their voice to know when to change your steps. Number 3, read by what you feel. Now this is subtle, and it's important. Feeling the emotional signals of the person you're communicating with. You've got to tune in, especially if you're dealing with something sensitive. Women in general tend to be better at this than men because they naturally pick up on emotional signals more quickly. But men can learn this too. It's about feeling the energy in the room, feeling what's not being said, feeling the atmosphere. If you can pick up on those emotional cues, you'll know exactly how to adjust your message. What you don't want to do is ignore those signals and bulldoze through with your agenda. For example, imagine this. You meant to say something helpful like what's troubling you, but instead you blurt out what's wrong with you. You see the difference in tone. The wrong choice of words can escalate a situation rather than smooth it out. That leads me to the next point, intensity. Now this is where communication gets its real power. Words mixed with emotion, that's where you can make a real impact. Words alone can have an effect, but when you mix those words with emotions, whether it's love, courage, conviction, or passion, that's when you're really moving mountains. Words mixed with hate, that can destroy. Words mixed with faith, that can inspire. The key is to infuse your communication with the right emotion for the occasion. Here's what I want you to remember. Put more of you into what you say. Don't just speak the words, live the words as you speak them. It's your personal emotion, your authenticity, your conviction that makes all the difference. Casual communication doesn't change lives. And here's a principle I live by. Casualness leads to casualties in life, on the freeway and in communication. Don't be lazy in learning how to communicate with intention and heart. When you speak, give it everything. Let them see that you mean it. Now, a word of caution, emotions must be measured. You've got to make sure you're not overdoing it. Not every situation calls for intense emotion. There's an old saying in leadership, don't shoot a cannon at a rabbit. Sure, it's effective, but what do you end up with? No rabbit. The lesson here is to gauge the situation. Sometimes a soft word does more than a loud one. You've got to use well-chosen words mixed with measured emotion. That's the secret to powerful communication. It's knowing when to turn up the intensity and when to pull back, always in balance with what the situation calls for. Here's the final thought I want to leave you with. The more you care, the stronger you can be. If you truly care about someone, whether it's your child, your spouse, your colleague, or your customer, you can be firm and strong in what you say because they'll know it's coming from a place of care. The more you care as a leader, the more you can push people to be their best. The more you care as a parent, the more effective you'll be in guiding your children. Caring allows you to speak with strength and intention because the people you're communicating with will feel that it's genuine. So here's what I want you to take away. Learn to read people what you see, what you hear, and what you feel. Mix your words with the right level of emotion. And most importantly, care deeply. When you care and when you communicate with sincerity, people will listen and they'll respond. Your ability to connect with others will grow day by day, and your influence will expand. Remember, well-chosen words and measured emotion are the foundation of great communication. And when you master this, you'll find that you have the power to move people, to inspire change, and to truly make a difference.